Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we'll be doing a complete service on a Hustler Raptor SD. We're going to sharpen the blades, check for all grease zerks, grease everything up, change oil, everything. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to jack the front end up and get to the blades. On these 54s, they have 3 blades on them. So I'm going to go ahead and put a jack stand under here, just be on the safe side. I'm going to go get a socket. We'll go ahead and take the blades off. Okay, I took the blades off. It takes a 15/16 socket. Then you want to check your blade housings, make sure they're not cracked. And a lot of times you get like stuff like this. This is twine, baler twine, that gets wrapped up around there. Clear all that off. And we have any old grass from the deck from last year, whatever, get that all cleaned out. And just make sure the bearings are good. Wiggle the blades so they're nice and tight, up and down wise, spinning wise, it should be free and everything. But while you're down there, check all that out. And we're gonna go sharpen the blades now. And right now we're by the blade sharpener. We'll put a nice edge on these blades. And just make sure the blades ain't bent, If you have a 2-blade lawnmower or a 3-blade lawnmower, kind of just hold them together and make sure they're all parallel. If one blade's bent, one side would stick up like this, but these, they all look good. So put a nice sharp edge on there. When I go back and forth, I count back on these here. I'm doing 12 times back and forth on each one, so you're taking out the same amount on each side. gives it a nice edge on there. Like that. Then if you have a blade balancer, the cone shaped thing, you can set it on there and make sure everything's level. But if you cut so much off one side, do the same on the other side, and it'll be the same. So, whichever way you want to do it. And if your blades have really bad nicks in and stuff, it's probably time to replace them. We'll go back over the lawnmower. Okay, now we got the bottom of the deck done. Now we're gonna take these safety covers off the belt pulleys and belt. It's a good safety feature, but it's a good place to get grass and everything collected in it. And these are 10mm bolts. See what I mean? It's a good protecting thing, but they get packed full of grass. So we're gonna clean all that out. We want to inspect. Let me get this cleaned out. Inspect the pulleys. Inspect the belt. And if there's any zerks anywhere, we'll get everything all greased up and everything. And when you get all the loose or all the big debris out of there, then it's a good deal to use your air gun and blow it all out. Then check all your hanging brackets and hanging pins and make sure the pins ain't unhooked or gone, or make sure the brackets and stuff aren't bent. Just generally inspect everything. Make sure it's good to go and check the belts for cracks. We got all that loose now, so I'm just going to take the air gun and blow everything out. And on a lot of zero turns on these lowering brackets, there's grease zerks. I don't see any on this one right now, but I'm sure there is some. But grease everything up. Then on your front wheels, there's grease zerks on the hubs. There's grease zerks on the hubs, and there's usually zerks right around in here. Grease them up. This one don't have. This must have steel bearings in it, but on zero turn, there's usually a grease zerk here or one on the back. Grease all that up. And like I said, inspect everything on the deck. Make sure the belt's nice and tight. Check the idler pulleys. Make sure the bearings aren't bad on the idler pulleys. We'll get that all cleaned up. I'll put them covers back on. Then we'll go ahead and service the motor. And then there's one other thing here. Check the tension spring on the ends where the hook goes through. Because a lot of times they'll start wearing out right in here. Then the hooks will break off. So under there's one of these springs, a tension spring for the outer pulley that keeps the belt on. Just make sure they're not starting to wear out under here. If they are, it's best to replace them because they usually break when you're out mowing. So That's one thing to check. Then put the same air pressure, on the side of the tires. It will say what the tire pressure is. Do the both backs have the same tire pressure in there? And on the fronts also. Then what I like to use when that's all done, to make sure the deck is level, you stick this on the ground and you set this under the blade. Then it'll tell you, say this side here is 3 inches. And we'll go to the other side and do the same thing. And if it's not, and if you have all the tires equal pressure, there's adjustments for the deck. And I'll just give you a nicer cut on your lawn. So I just wanted to say that, so we'll go to the motor next. Okay, now we're draining the oil now. Trying to get there close as could be, but on these here, there's a drain hose right here, and right here, there's a 10 millimeter bolt right here. You loosen that up. There's a better view of it. You loosen that up, and I got a pad on the bottom or drain the oil, and the oil filter's right next to it. We'll get the oil drain first, and as you can see, that oil is pretty black. Hasn't been changed in a while. And here's your filter. But we'll let that drain for at least an hour or so. Make sure we get all the old oil out of there. Then we'll put a new oil filter on there, and we'll tighten up that plug and put new oil in there. Then we'll go to the back of the motor. So we're just gonna let this drain for a while, make sure we get all that old oil out of there. So be back in a bit. Okay, drained all the oil, put an oil filter on there. And on these big V twin engines, some call for a quart and 3/4, some call for 2. So what I like to do is I like to put a quart and 3/4 in, and when I'm all done working on it, start it up, let it run for like about 20-30 seconds, and shut it off. Then check that way the oil circulates through the oil filter and everything. And if it needs to be added like 4 to 6 ounces, we'll add it. But that's what I like to do. I'm going to come to the back here, and we're going to go ahead and change these spark plugs. And we can see how the motor's running by look at the spark plugs. You can tell a lot by the spark plugs. If they're black and sooty, that means the air filter could be clogged up, or there's something wrong with the carburetor and it's running rich. These here ain't burning too terribly bad. They're not black and sooty, and it's not burning lean. We're just going to go ahead and replace them. On these Kawasaki's, it's a NGK BPR 4 BPR 4ES. So I'll go get 2 plugs. This is a 2-cylinder. Put a nice new shiny plug in there. Always check the gap on them. Our spark plug wire back on till it clicks. Yeah, these Kawasaki engines are really good engines. And make sure you change your filters and change your oil regularly and stuff. These will last long, long time. And that's burning this just like the other side. Got another brand new plug. Make sure the gap's set on it. And it should say in your engine motor manual, these are set at 32. Then we're done with this. We're gonna put a new air filter in it, new fuel filter, and we're gonna check the hydraulic oil. And it should be ready to go for a good summer of mowing. Okay. Okay, beans are over on this side here. We'll just go ahead and change that fuel filter. Get that taken care of. Grab a pair of pliers and a new filter. On these filters, they usually have an arrow on them. An arrow that tells you which way the fuel's going. And if you can't find the arrow and everything, this part here, this flat part, that goes towards the carburetor. This comes from the tank. Well, let's take off these hose clamps. Slide them down. And grab on the hose and twist it off. And you can see there's a lot of dirt and stuff in that paper filter in there. Okay, we got that done. Now let's check this air filter. Oh geez, look at that. That's in bad shape. So we're going to go and throw a new one on, and we're going to put a pre-filter on this too. Because these motors, seems like these motors that are on these zero turns in the back, they get a lot of dust and debris that gets sucked up in there. If you didn't have a filter, all that would go inside your motor. So let me go find the filter real quick. Okay, found the new filter. And on these particular ones, it's like a hose clamp with like a finger grip on it. Loosen that up. and just popped them out of there. That's just in really bad shape. You know, when I put filters on, I like getting the ones where you can put a pre-filter on it. It's just a foam wrapping on it. It protects the life of the paper element. Before you put that on there, I'm going to get all that cleaned out of there. Blow it out real quick. But yeah, that's just, I'm surprised the thing even ran as good as it did. So we'll grab the air hose here and just clean that. Clean it out, because if you don't, that's going to get sucked in right in the new air filter anyway. Okay, we'll grab our new air filter, put it in there, make sure the hose is all the way up to it, all the way up to the base of the air filter. Tighten it up so no air gets in between the hose and the filter and don't fall off. Clicker back on there. Now I'd like to check the hydro fluid canister. That's this right here, the reservoir. And there's lines on the side. There's like a cold line and a hot line. And it's right on the cold line, because when these get hot and everything, the oil expands a little bit. If you fill it up too full, fluids are gonna come out all over. You know, when oil gets on stuff, and it's a magnet to the grass and the dirt. So the next step is now let's start up and see how it runs. And there you go. Like, doing your regular maintenance on it, checking, making sure it has nice clean oil on it, nice clean filters and sharp blades and everything. Your lawnmower lasts you a long, long time. Anyways, I appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for watching. You have a good afternoon. Bye.